Hello, my friends. Hola, amigos. Are you ready for another simple and healthy winter recipe? Stay with me then. Today we are going to look at another of my favorite green vegetables. I cannot stress enough the importance of vegetables in general. Perhaps you remember at some point in your childhood your mother telling you to eat your veggies, eat your greens. My mother certainly did. Remember that we were a big family with 7 children, and my mother always made sure that we ate enough vegetables, particularly through the winter. Things like chard, which we are going to cook today, and spinach and cabbage, which if you remember we did in a previous recipe, the humble delicious cabbage. Anyway, today it's going to be chard, and chard sometimes I think is underrated, and people tend to think that it's bland and and boring. On the contrary, chard is full of vitamins, but it's also very, very tasty and supple and lends itself to a lot of wonderful recipes. Today we're going to prepare a simple gratin, which basically means that we're going to slightly boil the vegetable and then prepare it to go in the oven and bake it for a few minutes with a few other ingredients and a white sauce on top. Okay? As always, let me show you the ingredients that you're going to need for this very, very simple recipe. I've got the chard here, quite a big amount of it. I've already washed it, although I bought it organic, but there's always a bit of soil left in it, so it's well washed. So quite a big amount, and make sure that it's very green and the leaves are healthy when you buy it. 2 small potatoes. I'm using a few white mushrooms. They're not sort of compulsory in the recipe, but I had them today and they add to the flavor. And the magic ingredient always. Look at the amount of pancetta, Iberico pancetta, that we're using today. If you're not able to buy pancetta itself, you can buy a good quality thick bacon, and it will be just as tasty. And what else? We need some milk and this amount of butter for the gratin to prepare the white sauce that we'll put on top of the veggie to go in the oven. Okay? This is how I cut the chard. Okay, it's done in a minute. I always buy my vegetables whole, I know they sell them in plastic bags now, all chopped up and ready, but for me, it's not worth it. It doesn't bother me to do this. You see how easy it is. I just, if the stalks are broad like today, I just cut them along a bit. Okay, and then this is all I do. I coarsely cut up the chard. Okay. The white stalks have a different flavor from the green leaves, so it's nice to keep them all in for the recipe. Also because it adds a bit of color. Okay, that's all right. Not so nice. Take it out. You can see it doesn't take a minute to cut up vegetables in the kitchen if you have a good kitchen knife. Huh? Okay, so the greens are all ready now. I've got the chunked potato here, so we're ready to go in the boiling water. So I think the water's boiling, all right, so ready to go now. By the way, did you know that chard, green chard, is just about the best natural source of folic acid. I'll leave it at that, how important that is for, for a lot of things in your body. So there we go. I think I'm gonna put in the potatoes first, okay? Right. Okay. It's a good thing that I have a big pan here, because I'm going to use. All right. So you want this to bring to the boil and boil the chard for about, I'd say, 8-10 minutes, okay? You don't want them to be too soft, just tender, but avoid soggy vegetables. They are the worst thing, you know that. And don't forget, we need to add a bit of salt. So, salt to your taste, okay? Until they boil, the vegetables need high heat, okay? You can lower it down once it's boiling. And we've got the other ingredients now with which we're going to prepare the gratin. And while the vegetable is boiling, why don't I show you a little bit of the area where I live and make you acquainted with this relatively unknown part of northern Spain. I'll see what short videos I can find. High up there on the left is the village of Santolaria, and as we go down we can see below our hamlet where my husband Ramon and I live. It's very, very small, but it's a happy village. So the chard is ready. I got it drained here on the baking tray, ready to go in the oven for the final touch. And here is when it gets interesting for the final touch. Okay, we are going to use the pancetta and the mushrooms in that order. We'll stir fry them for a minute, and then on top of that we're going to create a wonderful white sauce with the butter and the milk, and it will all go in the oven for a few minutes to do our chard gratin. So I just love the smell and the sound of the pancetta when it's being fried. You can see it's a small amount, but it's such a tasty ingredient. Of course, if you're a vegetarian, you can skip it altogether and, just go with the mushrooms. I do that sometimes for a change, okay? So, up to you. But today we are using the wonderful, wonderful pancetta. Okay. Right, in goes the mushrooms. This doesn't need any salt because the pancetta has already been salted. I mean, it's salted itself. So, okay. Ooh, look at the pancetta and the mushrooms. They have taken on a lovely golden tone. Okay, here is the topping. You got to choose your toppings, like Americans say, for the ice cream. So this is just the right topping for our baked vegetable today. Makes it more colorful and interesting. And so what is What's left to do now is with a bit of vegetable stock from the chard that we boiled and a bit of flour and the butter, I'm going to make a fine white sauce to nicely cover it all up. I've set the grill in the oven while I prepare the white sauce. It takes a couple of minutes, okay? But the minute the tray goes in the oven, it better be hot, okay? So a bit of butter. You've seen me do this white sauce a few times before in my recipes, okay? Doesn't take a minute, with good butter. And basically, okay, like a good spoonful of flour. This is wholemeal flour, but you can take your pick here. Okay. Just gently blend in the flour. Remember, I've saved a bit of the juice, the stock from the chard. It's going to go in, just like half a glass, right? I really like the color. Okay, and now the milk. If it's room temperature, it's much better, okay? A little bit of salt, but very, very, very little, okay? Perhaps a bit of pepper as well. Okay. A couple of minutes to make this creamy white sauce, which we're going to pour on top of the chard. Okay, there we are. And the oven, the grill in it is ready. So, ooh, I can just imagine what 5 minutes in the oven are going to do this. So, there we go. 5-7 minutes in the grill to make it nice and golden on top. 4 minutes under the grill. Our chard, our baked chard, is ready to be served. So, ooh, this is hot. Oh my God, look at this. How does our chard gratin look today? Ooh, oh my God, hot. All right, so ready to go on the plate. We want a bit of everything. We want a bit of the chard and the potato and the mushrooms. This makes a whole meal, a wonderful meal that contains vegetables, a bit of protein in the pancetta, and the white sauce. And believe me, all children love it. This is the antidote against children disliking vegetables. My 4 grandchildren love this recipe, and it's a fabulous way for children to, really get into vegetables. Buen provecho.